We gave the same financial problem to a free AI chatbot and a $300 an hour certified financial planner. And when we compared the answers side by side, something unexpected happened. The AI wasn't just close. In some areas, it was better. And that should make every person paying premium advisory fees stop and ask a very uncomfortable question. Right now, somewhere in America, a 34-year-old is sitting across from a financial advisor in a leather chair, nodding along, paying $300 for that hour, and quietly wondering if this person actually knows more than what they could have found online. That feeling is not paranoia. That feeling is intuition catching up to reality. Here is why this matters to you specifically. The financial advisory industry in the United States manages somewhere north of $100 trillion in household wealth. It is also one of the last major professional services industries that has remained almost completely opaque to the average consumer. You cannot easily comparison shop it. You cannot easily audit it. Most people hire an advisor the same way people hired mechanics in 1975, through a referral from someone they trust, crossing their fingers, and hoping the bill is not too painful. And for decades, that was the only option. But that changed. And it changed fast. AI tools capable of synthesizing thousands of pages of financial data, tax code, and portfolio theory became free or nearly free almost overnight. And suddenly, the question that nobody in the industry wanted asked is now unavoidable. What exactly are you paying for? We ran a structured test. Same financial profile fed into two systems. A free AI tool and a credentialed human CFP charging $300 per hour. The profile was realistic. A 38-year-old with a 401k, some debt, a kid approaching college age, and about $40,000 in a brokerage account that had been sitting mostly untouched for 3 years. The kind of situation millions of Americans are actually in. And what we found fell into 4 clear categories. Each one shifts how you should think about the money you are spending, or the money you are leaving on the table. The first thing we noticed was how the AI handled tax optimization. When asked about the brokerage account, the AI immediately flagged something the advisor had glossed over. The account had unrealized losses in 2 positions that could be harvested before year-end to offset capital gains the client had already realized that year. The advisor mentioned tax efficiency in general terms. The AI gave a specific, actionable strategy with dollar figures attached. Now, to be fair to the advisor, they may have covered this in a follow-up meeting. But here is the thing. With AI, there is no follow-up meeting required. You ask, it answers, completely, immediately, and free. For a family in a 22 or 24% tax bracket, tax loss harvesting on a $40,000 account is not a minor detail. That is real money. Hundreds or potentially thousands of dollars recovered from what would have otherwise just been an invisible loss on a statement nobody was reading carefully. The second thing we found was more nuanced. When we pushed both sources on college savings strategy, the human advisor pulled ahead. Not dramatically, but meaningfully. The AI gave accurate information about 529 plans, contribution limits, and state tax deductions. It was correct. But the advisor asked questions the AI did not. Questions about the parents' relationship status, whether grandparents were planning to contribute, how the family felt about the student taking on some loans as skin in the game. Those questions changed the strategy. Because a 529 owned by a grandparent is treated differently in financial aid calculations than one owned by a parent. That nuance is in the data. But the AI did not think to surface it without being prompted. The advisor brought it up because of experience sitting across from hundreds of families in exactly this situation. This matters because it reveals what AI currently does well and where it still has a gap. AI is exceptional when you know what to ask. It is less reliable when the most important question is the one you did not know you needed to ask. The third finding was about behavioral coaching. And this one was uncomfortable in a different way. We asked both sources what to do about the $40,000 brokerage account that had been sitting idle for 3 years. The AI gave a diversified reallocation plan. Logical, fee-conscious, appropriately aggressive for a 38-year-old. The advisor gave a similar recommendation but then did something the AI could not. They asked why it had been sitting there. And the client admitted they kept meaning to deal with it but found the whole thing stressful and kept putting it off. The advisor recognized that immediately. Not as a financial problem. As an emotional one. And they redirected the entire conversation toward building a simple, automated system the client would actually use instead of an optimized plan the client would never execute. Here is the hard truth. A perfect financial plan that sits in a folder and never gets implemented is worth exactly zero. And right now, AI cannot look you in the eye and figure out that your real problem is not the plan. It is the paralysis. Human advisors, the good ones, do that. And it is worth something. The fourth finding brought us back to the AI's corner. Fees. When we asked both sources to review the existing 401k investments, the AI flagged expense ratios that were quietly bleeding returns. Several funds in the plan carried annual fees of 0.8 to 1.1% when nearly identical index alternatives existed at 0.03 to 0.05%. On a $150,000 balance growing over 25 years, that difference compounds into tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary cost. The advisor did not raise this. Not because they were dishonest. But because fee scrutiny inside an employer-sponsored plan is often not where advisors focus. The AI, with no agenda, no preferred fund relationships, and no awkward institutional loyalties, just flagged it plainly. That kind of cold objectivity has real financial value. And it is something a free tool can deliver better than a paid professional with even the slightest conflict of interest in the room. So what does all of this mean for you sitting here right now? It means the smart move is not to choose one or the other. It means understanding what each one is actually for. AI right now is excellent at tax flagging, fee analysis, scenario modeling, and answering the questions you know to ask. Use it constantly. Use it before any financial meeting. Use it to stress test anything an advisor tells you. Use it to audit your own accounts the way you would never have had the access or the tools to do before. Think of it as having a financial analyst on call, one who never gets tired, never oversells, and charges you nothing. But do not confuse access to information with having a complete strategy. For the moments that matter most, the inheritance you do not know what to do with, the divorce that changes everything, the business sale with serious tax complexity, the estate plan that involves people who do not get along, a skilled human advisor is still earning their fee. The key word is skilled. Not credentialed. Not expensive. Skilled. And now, for the first time in the history of this industry, you have enough free information at your fingertips to tell the difference between the two. Here is what to do this week. Pull up your 401k statement and look at the expense ratios on every fund you are holding. If any are above 0.2%, search for the index equivalent inside your plan. That alone could be the most valuable financial move you make all year. Second, take your single most pressing financial question, whatever is sitting in the back of your mind right now, and give it to a free AI tool with full context about your situation. See what it surfaces. You may be surprised how quickly it identifies something you had not considered. Third, if you are currently paying for an advisor, use what you learned from that AI session as a baseline when you walk into the room. Ask the questions the AI raised. Watch how the advisor responds. That response will tell you everything you need to know about whether you are getting your $300 worth. The financial industry has kept its expertise behind a wall for a long time. That wall is coming down. The tools exist. The information is accessible. What separates people who build real wealth from people who stay financially stuck is not access anymore. It is knowing how to use what is available and having the discipline to act on it. Subscribe to AcumenFi for more